Hey everyone, welcome to Substack Coach. I've been noticing a lot recently people posting about notes on Substack, the importance of using notes, how to grow on notes, all of those sorts of things. And I'm getting a lot of questions from my clients on how to use notes properly and also wondering why they're not getting the engagement that they're expecting with Substack Notes. So if you don't know, Substack Notes is the social media side of Substack. It is not where your long-form content lives, and your subscribers do not receive your Substack Notes in their email inbox. Substack Notes is more of a discoverability platform, kind of an ecosystem within Substack where you can post your content, share your content, and people who are not yet subscribed to you can come across it and become your subscriber. So oftentimes we're coming to Substack from other platforms such as LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Instagram, things like that. And we're used to the way those platforms work for social media. Substack Notes is very different. So people expect reach, they expect engagement. They're wondering why they're not getting any likes. They're looking for more comments on their notes. But Notes is not designed to give you attention, and it's not designed for going viral. What Notes is designed around is the reader experience. So Substack is not ads driven. Substack.com does not make their money from advertising on their platform. They make their money from taking 10% from those of us who have paid subscriptions. So their goal is not to make notes, which are free for everyone, go viral so that we keep scrolling and stay in the feed and keep clicking and hopefully click on ads. Their goal is actually to match readers with writers. People who want the content, the topic that you're creating on, they want them to find you. So the whole Notes algorithm is designed around understanding the reader's journey and guiding them to the right creators so they will subscribe and hopefully upgrade to paid. So if your notes feel like they're not working or they're not creating what you're looking for, such as low likes, no spikes in growth, or you're experiencing very slow growth. This is very common on Substack, and it does not mean that it's not working. It just means that it is slowly building up your foundation. So notes are not the end goal of what you're creating. Notes are a bridge from people not knowing you, not seeing you, into seeing your actual content and subscribing to you. So if you're looking for growth on Notes, the growth is not going to come through comments and likes. The growth is going to come from people reading your notes, resonating with that, clicking on you and clicking on your publication and subscribing to your publication. Okay, so let's talk about how you can find your people on the Substack Notes platform. So first of all, the most important thing is alignment, not attention. So the algorithm is asking, who would care about this content, not is this popular? So it's really important here that you're really clear on what your topic is. You use good, clear language, and you're using keywords that people will search for or that the algorithm can use to sort into the categories and subcategories that exist on the Substack Explore tab. So I was recently working with someone on their notes, and she had written one to share a long form post. And it was something like, this is my messy studio and, in the middle of processing and, hate to admit it, but this is what the process looks like. That sort of note, right? That's talking kind of about the messy middle and the process of being creative. It was a great note that would resonate with people. But when you actually clicked into her post, she was talking about a very specific type of studio. She was talking about the technical side of creating music to sell. But there was nothing in the note or in the title of the post that hinted towards that, even though that's a very niche market, so to speak. There's no keywords that actually said what kind of studio she was talking about. So there was nothing for the algorithm to work with, like, is this an art studio? Is it a music studio? Is it a writing studio? What kind of studio is this? So just something to keep in mind is really taking the time to create some keywords that are going to work for you. So remember, the second thing that's really important to remember is you want people to move from your notes into reading your posts, into becoming your subscribers. So comments and likes, those are not the main goal of Notes. You want your end goal is subscribers and even hopefully paid subscribers. So growth doesn't happen on Notes. It happens through Notes. So it's a vehicle. It's not a destination. Finally, I want to mention repetition and familiarity. So the reason you do want to be consistent on Notes is you want people to come across your work, and you want them to come across your work several times over the course of, say, a couple of weeks, and until they're like, oh, that person, I like their stuff. I've seen several of their notes and liked it. I'm going to click this time and see what else they produce, right? So you're becoming familiar in the Substack ecosystem, especially around your topic, and you're making sure that you're showing up in feeds for people that are interested in this topic. This doesn't mean you need to post notes, 5 or 6 times a day. Once, twice, maybe 3 times, that's totally acceptable. It's not necessary to be on there constantly pumping out content. So just remember that important things that drive your growth on Substack, like within the Substack ecosystem specifically, is being really clear within your notes, as well as within your post titles and subtitles, and then being consistent in how often you're showing up in people's feeds and in their email inboxes, and also participate in other people's conversations as well, which we will go more into next week with next week's video. That is commenting, engaging, and being part of the ecosystem in general. So just a couple final things to keep in mind. First of all, you want to stop trying to go viral like you would on Instagram, and instead start trying to be findable. You don't need to perform content on Substack, but it's more important to connect with people and build relationships on Substack. You don't have to chase attention and try to get lots of likes and comments from people. You're just building alignment between your audience and your readers and your content. Once you understand that and you start implementing that, then Notes starts to make sense, and you can move on to not being stressed out about how many comments and likes you're getting, and instead focus on creating great quality content. So if you're watching this and thinking, okay, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know what to post, I created a Notes Newbie workshop to walk through that with screen shares and examples and show you exactly how to share content to Notes and what to say and how to kind of find out what your audience is looking for, where they are, and how to tweak your notes to appeal to the audience you're trying to attract. So it's designed to take you from, I think I understand this, to I know exactly what to do in my daily routine on Substack. So if that would be helpful for you, you can purchase the workshop to download or stream at the link in the description. We'll see you next time.